What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza, coming to you live from Las Vegas for the PGF Season 6 draft. I'm super excited. We don't even want to waste time. We don't want to waste your time because we have so much to get to here today, and I've got two excellent people here joining me for this preview desk. I'm going to go first to our good friend, young Jake Watson. Jake, how are you doing, sir?
Oh my gosh, this is just such an incredible event. We've been doing the PGF pre-show on the bullpen every single week on Wednesdays, and you guys have been tuning into that. It's been so much fun to get to know you guys a little better, and I feel like we just have created such a cool dynamic together. And to be here at PGF World Season 6 in Las Vegas is just, it's a dream come true.
And I have to admit, it's very nice to see people in suits because we have Mr. 305 himself here. It's Pitbull, Tim Freeman. What are you doing here, bud? And how excited are you, sir?
I am so excited. I retired the hat and actually decided I'd put on a jacket and a nice shirt for the event. We've been talking for weeks about this. It's PGF Season 6. It's finally here. I can barely contain myself, man. Well, I can't wait.
I mean, I don't think any of us can contain ourselves. So listen, if you've seen this show, you know a few things about us. Number one, it's all fun and nonsense. Number two, we're here to help get you excited and give you some information, the best information that we have at this moment. But if you know a third thing about us, it's that we like to go to what we call the board. We're going to go to the board right now, and it has several discussion topics that will hopefully inform, educate, and scare you. I'm not quite sure which one's which. But we're going to start off with our very first topic. Y'all see what's going on with PJ and Andy? And I'm going to start this over with our current street correspondent, Tim Freeman. Tim, what's going on over there, buddy?
It's hard to say what's going on. PJ has mastered the art of talking without saying very much. You have to really read between the lines. He's very tight-lipped. He gives you a little bit, but not that much. On the other hand, Andy will say what he thinks you think he's thinking, which in the end is like, I don't know what to think. Is there a feud? Is there not a feud? We're going to have to stick around to find out because I really don't know.
You don't know? Okay, well, you know what? We're going to see if somebody else here knows. Jake, what do you know about this? Is there an actual feud, or are they just playing it up for the cameras right now?
Well, you know, there's some speculation, right? I mean, our very own Alex Wendling went out and had an interview with PJ Barch, and PJ remarked how Andy seemed like he had sort of a chip on his shoulder coming in. And PJ, like our good friend Tim Freeman just said, kind of keeps it close to the vest, but he did say that he feels like he has, quote, the athletic proclivity to beat anybody in the division. So he definitely is sort of mincing his words a little bit, but he is very confident coming into this.
So let me give you guys some background on this. So just to contextualize what exactly was said, I listened to the interview as well, and if you guys haven't gotten to see it, go check out Alex's page. It's a very, very good 35-minute interview. But what you find in that interview is this. She was able to get PJ to kind of say, like, you know what? Where is this coming from? I thought we were a 10P family. But you're noticing something because also Andy put out a 15-minute video where he talked about everybody and ranked people on a scale of being stud to like really like a real stud. So like we're getting deep into this, and you can tell the competitive nature for everybody here is starting to kick up. I guess what I have to say is this. Were you expecting at all, Tim, to see any kind of emotion out of PJ? Because that's the most I've ever seen him react to something like that.
Well, there's a saying on the streets, and that's money talks and walks, and I think we're getting down to the point where there's serious coin on the line, and these guys are starting to think, man, I could walk away with $40,000 at the end of the week. You know, hey, yeah, we're friends, but maybe I need to play some psychological warfare. Maybe I need to do a little bit more to get that edge in case I have to fight you for that money.
Let me ask this, Jake. Of the two of us, which would you fight for the money here?
Out of you or Tim?
Yep.
Don't say it.
I would probably fight Tim. Here's the thing, Raph.
How dare you?
No, here's the thing. Raph, I go back on the Grappling Hour and the Verbal Tapcast. I've never even been invited on Inside BJJ. Tim and I have had our fair share of issues in the bullpen in the past. It would be nice to put them to bed in a physical way.
I'm just glad that you opened it up by saying we had our fair share of issues. Like anybody who hasn't seen any of the 6 episodes we've done together is like, wait, y'all have beef? We only had 5 episodes together. Tim, do you have any predictions on a fight between you and Jake?
You know, it's not curious to me that he's called out a man that's 20 years older than him, his senior. So he looks around the table. He's like, okay, who's the guy that I think I got a shot against? I'm 26. Let me go against the old guy. It doesn't surprise me. My experience with Jake is he's going to take that shot when he sees it.
So like, there's one thing I learned from Jake Paul. It's that you got to call out people much, much older than you.
You learned something from Jake Paul?
That's one.
Okay.
You know.
Hey, listen, guys, let's go to our next topic right now. And here's a way that we want to broaden things out, because some of you might be new to this sport, and if that's the case, welcome. We're not like people who call you casuals. We love you. We hope that you enjoy this product of submission grappling that we're putting in front of you this week. But to help you just a little bit more, in case you're not familiar, we want to give you some comparisons, some similes, some metaphors to who our coaches most resemble in the outside world of this little sport known as jiu-jitsu. And I'm going to go ahead and start on over here with Jake Watson. Jake, who do you have, and who do we need to know is similar to somebody in the outside world?
Well, I'm going to think about Hodger Gracie. Hodger Gracie is an athlete, and this week he's going to be a coach. And if we're thinking about that, Phil Jackson is possibly the most successful athlete turned coach in sports history, with over 10 NBA World Championships and winning with the New York Knicks as a player in 1973 season. Hodger Gracie, 10 IBJJF Black Belt World Championships, the only person in ADCC history to win 10 straight matches by submission. This week, we'll see if he's able to replicate that same Phil Jackson style of dominance as a coach.
I have to say, I was very proud of that metaphor. I didn't believe you had it in you, but you were able to pull it off flawlessly. Tim, you have two people to preview. Get to your two people very quickly. Go.
Okay, it's Jean-Jacques and Rigan Machado. The easy thing is to say that's Jim and John Harbaugh, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. Listen, off in the distance, you see a Mirage. It's a bus. It's driving. The build is right. The face is right. The people are right. It's Coach Ditka. He's driving the bus. Rigan Machado, easy. Coach Ditka. Who's behind him? It's Pat Riley.
Oh.
Driving in the Corvette. Yeah, Jean-Jacques got the super cool vibe. He comes through like 100%. I'm saying he's Pat Riley, and Higgins Coach Ditka all the way, 100%.
Fair enough. All right, let me go ahead and see how quickly I can do this one. The person I'm left with is a longtime friend of the show, one Dean Lister. Now, I think you're trying to figure out who in the real sports world. I'm going to go to the realist sports world. I'm going to talk about Emilio Estevez in the movie The Mighty Ducks, because if you really think about it, there are some lost children here who are in need of some help. And yeah, there might be a quack chant by the end of this week. I might start it. I might not have to. But what I'm telling you is this. Maybe it's because a court order told him he had to be here. Not quite sure. Can't prove it, can't disprove it. So what I'm telling you is Dean Lister is Emilio Estevez from The Mighty Ducks, specifically The Mighty Ducks 2, the superior movie to The Mighty Ducks Un. So I guess that's what I have to say. You know what? We don't even need those 33 seconds. Let's go to the next topic right now. We're going to go ahead and go to our next topic, which is this, and it is to talk about scene. I need you guys to help describe the scene that is going on here at PGF headquarters. Tim, you've done such an eloquent job of describing not only what coaches are like, but maybe just telling us what people may not be able to see here behind the scenes.
Sure. Well, listen, we're in a secret location in Las Vegas, okay? First of all, you come in, it's dark, it's mysterious, you can't see. The sun's so bright outside, it's dark when you come inside, you see curtains, beautiful lighting, you walk down the aisle, you turn around, and what do you see? You see Hodger Gracie. No. You see Rigan Machado. You see Jean-Jacques. You see an entire staff, the who's who in the jiu-jitsu world, especially on the production side. Of course, you see the commissioner, Brandon McCaffrin, glad-handed, kissing babies and shaking hands. It's 100% on. It's elegant. It's probably the nicest production that I've been to in the jiu-jitsu world. I would have to say that. Yeah. It's I wore a suit and tie, so
they did get us to agree to that. You will be in full suit and tie by the end of this week. And I think you mentioned something nice, which is yes, Brandon McCaffrin is out here at his full Bill Clinton-esque voice. Literally has kissed 3 babies since I have been here. Just saying. Jake, what can people understand better that maybe your eyes have been able to see here?
Well, to piggyback off of what Tim said, the athletes are really excited. I mean, every single athlete that I've talked to is smiling. They're super excited. They feel privileged to be a part of this event. There's no event like the Professional Grappling Federation in the entire world. They're doing something special, and the athletes are excited to be a part of something special. And so them just receiving Once Upon a Coconut, them receiving great care, people corresponding with them, talking with them about what they need to go through on the event. And yeah, the secret location is super cool. I mean, if you look in the background, we have chandeliers hanging. It's, man, what we're going to see on the draft is going to be absolutely incredible. That's another thing that the athletes are very, very excited about, because that doesn't happen at any event in jiu-jitsu either. So just very excited from the athlete's perspective, I would say.
Can I just say this real quick? The fact that he's able to get an ad mention for Once Upon a Coconut, kudos to you. We don't give extra money for this. But I will say, we do give Brandon bucks. Brandon bucks, very, very important here. And you know what? I think that's a good way to transition to our next topic, which is actually a very important one here. I think a lot of you who are tuning in may not know exactly what's happening, so let's try and figure things out for you. Let's explain how this all works. Now, yes, there's a lot of moving parts to the PGF, and it's going to be on us to try and help you better understand some of those aspects. We're going to first turn on over to Jake Watson. Jake, what is something that people can better understand as we go into this week?
Well, as you guys see, today is going to be the draft. So the coaches are going to have 10,000 Brandon bucks each to bid on the athletes in an auction-style draft. Throughout the week, we're going to have the regular season, which is going to be Monday through Thursday. And then Friday, live on UFC Fight Pass, will be the finals, where the top 8 people who have accrued the points throughout the regular season will fight in the finals for their shot at an extra bonus cash prize.
Extra, is that what we're calling it? Extra bonus?
I don't know if it's extra bonus seems a little gratuitous, but
It's fair.
Sorry.
It's a Brandon bonus.
So it's a Brandon bonus.
Brandon
bonus. Ooh, Brandon bonus. Can we trademark that? Because they can pay us.
Already done.
All right, here we go. Tim, what else do people need to know?
You also need to know that there are bounties that you could put on submissions. So if you want to see Jet Thompson, Mother's Milk, Cam Hurd, let's say, like that's something you want to see, you can go to the Brandon McNinja YouTube channel, go to the super chat, and you can, put that out there, and you could donate your money. Or if you're just like, hey man, I like this kid, I want to help him, I want to give him an extra $50, you can do that. The commish is going to see that it gets straight to them, but it's something you should consider. You could actually influence the match with your money potentially. So that's something really important. Make sure you do that. You could also play fantasy jiu-jitsu. If you go to the PGF World website, go down to the bottom, there's a link that'll take you straight to the fantasy jiu-jitsu. If you're into that, there's $1,000 in prizes that are being given out, so make sure you check that out as well.
It sounded better, I think, when we were talking it out earlier, but you did sort of sound like it was an OnlyFans sort of thing that we were doing here. But you know what? Pay the athletes, I guess, is what we're saying here, folks. That's important to note, which I'm glad that you're bringing up, but I do want to go ahead and defer my minute on over back to you, Tim. We have a rule here, which is I can defer minutes and give them to anybody else I want to, or he could give them back to me. I'd like you to explain how the draft is going to work here today in case people were interested.
So the way the draft is going to work is they're going to bring the athletes up, ranked number 1 through number 20 when the first athlete comes up. The coaches, I'm not sure which coach is going first today, but the coaches will have an order. We'll find out together. They'll make a bid, and they'll do a round of bidding until somebody wins that athlete. You have to at least bid $100 on each athlete, and obviously you have to get 5 athletes. There's a lot of strategy, a lot of thought to going into it. It can be quite tricky. I think a lot of people have a lot of information on the first 5 or 6 guys, but once it gets a little lower in the list, it's a little bit less predictable on who's going to go where. So.
Fair enough. And we hope that you guys stick with us the entire week. It is going to be going on every single day. So today is the only day we're not going to be having action at 4 p.m., but 4 p.m. is when the action takes place. But 3:30 p.m. is when you see us for the pre-show. And once the action concludes, you will catch us hosting the post-show. So think about it as warm up with us, see the events, cool down with us. That's the way we want to make it so you guys can best understand that. But I think it's time to go to our next topic, which is this. Listen. We get that this isn't just an athletic competition. There's also a reality element to this. So if you love your favorite stories, your wife loves The Housewives, you love pro wrestling, everybody loves and is drawn in by stories. So I guess what I want to ask our panel here is, who are the reality archetypes? And I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Tim. Tim, who are the reality archetypes that we need to be aware of here?
So I'm going with the saboteur. And I think it's important, this guy comes up a lot whenever we talk about villains, whenever we talk about bad guys. Now that we're talking about saboteurs, I'm going to bring up AJ Agazarm, because this is a guy that will write poetry to get in your head. This is a guy that will go take a course in college to learn something so he could use it to dig in at you later. This is a guy who hasn't arrived yet to the auction. What's going on with this guy? Is this just another ploy? Is this a game he's playing?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? So definitely.
You mentioned
AJ.
Saboteur, and I mean, he's not even here. So I feel like he is fulfilling that destiny really quickly.
Absolutely. AJ Agazarm.
Prophetic. All right, Jake, what do you have for us on this?
So another reality archetype would be like the newcomer, the person who's new to the show. And that is going to be Jet Thompson. Now, here's the thing about Jet Thompson. It's a child. His parents drove him here. He has in his Instagram bio every single win in jiu-jitsu that he has in his entire career, and it's over 400 fights. And he has Pan Kids champion. Now, another thing, this kid can't even buy a Costco membership card. He can't drive himself to the store, or maybe he can. He's 17 years old. But he's the newcomer, and he has everything to win and nothing to lose. And I think that's an amazing thing for him in all seriousness. It's a great opportunity, and I think that Jet Thompson is really going to take full advantage of it. I mean, if you look at him, he is a man-child. He is ripped, 17-year-old dude, and I'm very excited to see him compete.
Okay. All right, good. I'm glad we've got to that point. The first thing you thought of was a Costco membership? Like, that's
was
the...
what I was thinking about when I was 18.
New
Yeah,
dad.
no, indeed. Needs those diapers for a
I'm a
good
Gold
rate.
Star member, dude.
You're a Gold Star member? Oh, I'm so sorry. So I didn't know to reference you like that.
Platinum, and it wouldn't make me
That's
money back.
understandable. I just have business class like a commoner. I want to point this out. The person who I'm going to identify right now, he is what we call, in villains, heroes, we're talking about the baby face, the person you want to get behind, this person whose story maybe, took a little bit of not a turn, but just like an interesting viral moment. And I want to talk about the All-American one, John Combs. And here's why. Easy to get behind. He's already tried to attack me twice, but he told me it was good for me, apparently. 3, not only an ADCC qualifier in his own right, but somebody who's been to the big dance, has been to big competitions, and he's somebody who's easy to get behind. So I want to tell you this. If you're looking for a baby face, if you're looking for a Captain America, you probably can't do too much worse than a John Combs. I said this as I wrote it yesterday, and it was much better yesterday before he tried to attack me. So I do recant half of what I said. So there is that. All right, let's go to our next topic. And here's what I want to do. And I want to actually do this one as quickly as possible, which is, gents, there are rumors and I don't know, things that we can confirm and not confirm, but can you guys tell me any of the rumors that you've been hearing on the streets? I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Jake.
No, I'm going to give my minute to Tim. I am not a streets representative.
Okay, fair enough.
So please take it over to him. He is the member of the streets.
Fair enough.
I just keep collecting minutes. I don't know what it is. So here we go. I have heard that potentially there are maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe all of them. I'm not positive on this. There are coaches who may need or have been using consultants in order to help them get their teams kind of figured out.
Wow.
Cannot confirm it. I cannot deny it. I don't know if exactly who the players are that are involved, if any. This is just all speculation, but it is something that has come up. And I'm not sure if this has happened before in the PGF. I don't know if you're allowed to bring a guy in, who's allowed to talk, who's not allowed to talk. Like, maybe AJ's sabotaging somebody. Maybe he's sending in a consultant to talk to one of these guys to throw it. I don't know, but that's the rumor that I've heard. So you got to watch the auction. You need to keep your eyes on the crowd, see what's going on, who's talking to who.
All right, guys, bring it in close. All right, guys, here's the rumors I've been hearing, okay? Listen, don't tell anybody. Don't repeat what I just said. Now, what I'm looking at right over here is Tim looks like the most FBI informant on Miami Vice anybody has ever seen. Like, legitimately, the fact that you started telling us there was dirt, I was like, I believe you. You definitely look like somebody who's been interrogated for a little bit. But here's the dirt I'm hearing. I'm hearing that when you exit the studio, your eyes will lose 20% of its vision. Legitimately, the sun is blaring on it. I don't think I'm going to be able to drive home. So, yikes. But you know what? It was worth it in the end. And legitimately, guys, I want to keep this a positive affair. So we're not going to do any more rumors today, but maybe we'll do them later in the week. Well, let's advance to our next topic, which is a very, very simple one, which is we did a mock draft here. Now, I don't know if you've ever felt heat, but the heat is on right now because of this. Yes, we have coaches who are about to do a draft, but we ourselves did one. And the very people we picked are right behind us. Some of these jokes they will hear. So there is a little bit of a tenseness. I will be forthcoming in that. But I would like to go ahead and talk about who we have drafted. So we have a nice little graphic over here. And since he's not on the panel, we can talk trash about him. But let's go ahead and show who Egghead had for his team. Egghead pictured here with hair, younger times, much younger photo. But he on his team has PJ Barch, Max Hansen, Davis Asari, Jamie Carnal. And he said he was ranked too low. Guess who ranked them? That guy. And Matt Elkins.
Very suspicious.
So that is his team. And we're going to go and jump to our other individuals who are going to preview out their teams. Why don't we go ahead and go on over to Jake Watson's team. So let's go ahead and show Jake Watson and his team.
So the people that I picked were Nathan Haddad was my last pick. I picked AJ Agazarm, Hanato Canuto, John Combs, and Daniel Sadler. Now, I really loved those picks, actually, because I have a fondness for the styles of those competitors, but those are the people I picked.
Do you feel a little bit at ease with the whole AJ pick when he's not even here yet?
Oh, actually, yeah, no, I don't feel that great about that.
Great, let's move on. Okay, let's go ahead and check out Tim's team right now.
Yeah, I picked Elijah Carlton, Cam Hurd, Mike John, Jet Thompson and Samson Foam about. I'm feeling confident about my team. I went and talked to my guys today. I worked the room. I got word on how their training's going, how they're eating, where their weight is, how they do the arm bar. Do you make sure the thumbs up? I told them those little tricks. Don't cross the feet when you have the back, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, my guys are ready. I'm feeling confident for my team. Stoked.
I want to say that's the most valuable nonsense you could pass their way.
Don't cross
the feet. Be like, you know what, guys? You do you, but I've got a few tips here. Everybody bring it in. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. All right, let's go to my team. All right, guys, let's talk about, we got to crouch down low for this one. I did not frame myself well. On my team, Andy Varell, longtime friend of the show. You got Kevin Beering, new friend of the show, who's recently been on an episode of the Grappling Hour. You got Ben Eddy, longtime friend of the show. Kevin Sherrill, longtime friend of the show. And new friend, David Evers. So I'm telling you this right now. All of these gentlemen, my heart is with you. But I know there's a lot of folks out there. So we're going to go to our very last topic here. And what I want is for all of these people, meaning Jake and Tim, to now give a hype speech to get their team motivated. I'm going to actually keep time myself, but you have 1 minute to go ahead and give a pep talk to your team. I'm going to start with you, Jake Watson.
All right, listen, guys. Most of you on this team are people who have participated in the IBJJF. Some of you guys are coming into this bracket. None of you were ranked number 1 or 2 or 3, but you're coming in here with an opportunity to win a considerable amount of money. You're coming in here with an opportunity to display that, no, I don't just do advantage fighting. I'm not just a point fighter. I can submit you at any time. So go out there, be dangerous, and flip the script on them. Because this is a PGF, and you guys are meant to be here. You were invited here. Now go prove it.
Thank you, Jake, for that. We appreciate it.
Is that not good?
It was, it was okay. It was good for your team. Good for your team. Okay.
Thanks.
Tim, show them how it's done.
Okay, listen. I got a team full of guys that were not ranked number 1. Okay, we got Carlton, people talking smack. Mike John, some people saying he's not top 10. Cam Hurd was ranked near the bottom. Jet Thompson, he's just a baby. We just heard that not too long ago. Samson Foam about, he came last on a lot of people's lists. Listen, you guys, just like Jay said, you're here for a reason because you're going to win. Don't forget that. You got it in you. You've been kicked on, spit, all that stuff. You've been getting ready. You're out in Vegas, and you're on my team. Coffees for closers. Let's go.
Thank you very much for that, Tim. All right, I'm going to give a nice pep talk to my folks. It's a team Esparza. And I'd like to recite a monologue from Any Given Sunday. And this is performed originally by Al Pacino. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Okay, and believe me, we can stay here. We can get the crap kicked out of us. Or we can fight our way to the back. Okay? Climb out of hell 1 inch at a time. And I can't do it for you. I'm old. Okay? Okay? You know when you get old in life, the things, they get taken from you. And I mean, that's just part of life. But you'll learn that only when you start losing stuff. This is a game of inches, jiu-jitsu. And, in jiu-jitsu or football or whatever it is, the margin of error is so small. And I got to tell you this right now. Now, you think you're going to see a guy right next to you. I want you to look at him. Look at his eyes, all right? And I want you to realize that person's going to do the same thing to work with you to get out inch by inch. You're going to claw and you're going to get out. And that's it, team. We either heal now as a team or we die as individuals. That's jiu-jitsu, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you going to do? Scene.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Al Pacino, my Emmy, I will be expecting it very soon. Thank you, sir. All right, guys, listen. Let's stop stalling. Let's stop waiting. Let's get straight to this draft. On behalf of us here at the PGF pre-show, thank you for watching. All week, you can catch us at 3:30 and at the conclusion of every day of the broadcast. Ladies and gents, on behalf of both Tim Freeman, Jake Watson, my name is Rafa Esparza. Thank you for joining us. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.